Hey there, I'm Lucas Bond with the Missouri Department of Conservation, and we're going to be talking about prairie restoration efforts. The restoration efforts that are going on in Montgomery County, right next to the Montgomery County High School. Really cool opportunity. Kids are going to come out from a conservation class and going to start seeding this and trying to make it go back to a prairie how it was. I'm actually going to be joined here by Tom Westhoff. He's going to tell us a little bit about the whole process and why we're doing this and why it's so important for the environment. Let's turn this around and let's talk with Tom. All right, Tom, thanks for joining me today. Tom, tell us what's happening here. You know, behind you it used to be a prairie and you're trying to transform that back into a prairie, correct? Is that the whole concept here?
That's the whole concept. This area historically was all prairie, and the school property here, the southern end of it, about 5 acres, it's been prairie historically, and over the years we've tried to restore it. It got neglected for a few years and grew up into a lot of trees, and we're making a renewed effort to convert it back and make a really good prairie out of this patch behind us. This patch behind me is 4 acres.
Okay.
And then there's a 1 acre patch over here that is native prairie that's never been plowed to our knowledge. So it's really a unique area here, and we are in the process of trying to restore it. This field behind me here was planted to natives about 10 years ago. It did fairly well, except we kind of neglected the burning end of it, and it grew up to a lot of trees and shrubs, and we're making a renewed effort to convert it back to 100% prairie. Today we're going to have the conservation class from the high school come out and actually do some seeding of native forbs. We have a 20 species mix that we're going to try to enhance this prairie. In a year or two it should look great, as long as we can keep the fires going in it, keep the woody stuff down and keep it burned. It will be a really good example that the people in town can come out and see. About 20 years ago, this area right here was, when it was converted, it was also an exercise trail. There is a blacktop trail that goes all the way around it. It's very easy access for people, and hopefully down the road we'll have some tours out here for some people in the evenings just to come out and learn about native prairies and native prairie plants.
So Tom, tell us, why is it a great time of year right now to throw out seed and start trying to replenish, do some restoration efforts this time of year?
Native prairie plants need to go through a stratification process. They need to go through some freezing, thawing, some wet, dry, and I always try to get the seed on the ground before February 1st. That gives them about 6-8 weeks of freezing, thawing to where that seed coating will crack and it will germinate as soon as the ground temperature warms up. So we always try to get that on the ground, especially the wildflower seed, before February 1st.
Awesome. And and you also mentioned you're able to do this through a grant, correct? You were mentioning this earlier to me.
Yes, Ameren gave us a $5,000 grant. The first thing we did with that was we hired a contractor to remove the trees, cut down the trees that were invading. We're going to spend some of that money on signage, and we're going to spend the rest of the money on seed. So we are right in the middle of the process of restoring this really nice prairie.
Awesome, awesome. And again, what were you saying? What kind of wildflowers and stuff are going to be going out? Just the different types? How many different species were a part of that seed?
We're planting 20 species today, and a few years ago we planted about a 25 species mix. So some of them are the same, but we'll have a 30 to 40 species mix, plus some of the native grasses in here. So it should be a really good looking prairie, and as we go along we'll probably add even more species and try to enhance it even more over the next 5 or 10 years.
All right, I really appreciate it, Tom. Thank you very much for your time. And again, I'm going to echo kind of what he said. He said he's using a grant to do this, but all those that are tuning in at home, and if you have a neighborhood association, or if you have land that you need help with, maybe restoring it back to great wildlife habitat and so forth, you can always go online at mdc.mo.gov and search in the search bar private lands conservationist, and get in contact with your local private lands conservationists, and they can provide you with information that you can learn more about how you can do this and also find out more about those cost share programs and so forth as well. Thanks for tuning in this wonderful afternoon. You have a great rest of the day.